Hey, this goes out to all the real foundational black Americans, not the phony ones with that racist theory, to all the Puerto Ricans, to all the people in the Caribbean, the Jamaicans, Barbados, Grenada, everyone, okay? Right now on TikTok, there's this group, like I mentioned, that's doing all this division and all this racist craziness, right? Tonight on Frankie Blanco Live, I'm gonna prove once and for all, Puerto Ricans are foundational black Americans, period.
If I could not take anyone seriously, was a person personified, like literally an entire entity, this person right here who goes by the name of Frankie Blanco, and for all intents and purposes, this could very well be their real name. I'm not entirely sure. This would be it. This would be it right here. If this is his attempt at trolling, this is a very, 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 very horrific and horrible attempt at trolling and thinking that it's actually going to pass. Now, how I found out about this was I was just scrolling on X. Someone tagged me in this post and I saw this video and I said, I've got to talk about this because, why not? It's absolutely absurd at the end of the day. So you have this man right here who goes by the name of Frankie Blanco, and again, like I said, it could be his real name or it could be just the name he came up with for entertainment purposes. He posted this video on TikTok, and you can look right there at the caption already and know he was about to talk about a bunch of BS, where he said Puerto Ricans are foundational black Americans, period, and underneath it he said Frankie Blanco Live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to which I actually went on YouTube to see if he went live, to see if he went live on YouTube to talk about this, but maybe I think he probably went live on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, so if someone can go and look to see about that, let me know, please inform me. But apparently I think somebody did, because when I was looking through the comments, someone said he had like a whopping 22 people in there at the time when he was going live talking about this, to which his message didn't go very far. And he's sitting up here on TikTok claiming that Puerto Ricans are the real foundational black Americans and that he was going to prove once and for all why that is. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, first off, Puerto Ricans, it's a territory. It's attached to the states, but it's not a state, if that makes sense. It's a territory. It's like the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands is attached to the U.S. because they own it as a territory, but it's not declared as a state it's not sanctioned as a state. And number two, Puerto Ricans, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know one Puerto Rican person personally that has gone around and called themselves black. Now, the only minor exception is if you have one that was born of what you would call mixed heritage, where you have one that has maybe one Puerto Rican parent and a black parent who actually is black. But to that point, they wouldn't even call themselves black. Many of them would just call themselves Afro-Latina or Afro-Latino if they're a male. And that's probably as far as it will go, because even then, they still wouldn't consider themselves to be black. This goes back to why I say that black and brown thing does not work. This is coming from a person or a group of people, and I'm not going to say all of them, but a vast majority of them do not have the same love and respect for us like they claim they do. These are some of the same people out here that's claiming they started hip-hop. I mean, you remember how all of that went down. They were the ones claiming they started hip-hop and all this, that, and the third, and we had to dispel that. Now this dude coming on here talking about how they are the real foundation of black Americans, and also peep how he's trying to galvanize people in the Caribbean. He said people in the Caribbean to somehow come against us as like it's some kind of war, to try to come and attack us, because he said he's tired of seeing stuff on TikTok and how these individuals are somehow spreading division and all type of stuff. What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like PC? PC loves to say how black people are always spreading division when we call them out on their crap. especially if we call them out on their anti-black ways. But then when we do that, that's us being divisive and spreading division. But when they do it to us and we call them, and you know, when they do it, it's okay, and we're supposed to just deal with it. This guy is completely and utterly delusional. But like I said, it just tells you once again why that whole black and brown thing simply just does not and will not and cannot and will never work. He sits up here and tries to tell us what is a real foundational black American and says that Puerto Ricans are that when they don't even consider themselves to be black. For them, it would be an insult to call themselves black. Hell, even the people that he's trying to galvanize as far as the Caribbean goes, many of them, even if they're black and skin tone, won't even call themselves black. If they from the Caribbean, they're going to identify by whatever nation they're attached to. If they're from Jamaica, they're going to call themselves Jamaican. If they're from Trinidad and Tobago, they're going to call themselves Trinidadian. If they're from St. Lucia, they're going to call them St. Lucians. And so on and so forth. If they're from the Dominican Republic, they're going to call themselves Dominican. If they're from Haiti, they're gonna call themselves Haitian. Like, what are we doing here? We're the only people in the world, for the most part, that literally will call ourselves black Americans. And you got this guy up here trying to colonize it. This is your example right here of your co-colonizing cohort. Someone who is not white, who maybe, I don't know, they might want to be, I don't know. But they will speak in the tone and have the mindset of PC, especially dubbed S. And I'm sure they would. I'm sure anyone who is Puerto Rican who has some sense, and anyone in the Caribbean who has some sense, probably took one look at this dude and saw how much of a clown he was. Because I'm sure they probably was looking at this dude like, what are you talking about? Don't try to put that on us and say why we are foundational black Americans. Like, they'll probably look at this guy like, what are you talking about? And notice that he had to say how Puerto Ricans are the real foundational black Americans. First off, why would you even try to attempt to co-opt that? FBA is still very much, in my opinion, in its infancy stages. And I say that because it hasn't been around as far as a terminology or for at least a decade. It's only been a few years. And he couldn't wait to say that. I guess him saying, if he wanted to say foundational Puerto Ricans, that would have been too on the nose, right? So let's just not say that and just go ahead and say and take away a whole nother saying that's already been established based on lineage and throw it onto myself. This guy is a goofy. I can't take him seriously at all. Really, all you can do is laugh at this clown, because that's what he is. He is a complete and utter clown. It went from that's why I keep telling y'all, black Americans, we are the trendsetters of the world, because not only are they trying to copy us as far as dressing style, dance, lingo, slang, all of that good stuff, but now you got this idiot, this buffoon up here trying to snatch a whole lineage and then attach himself to it. He's leeching. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a tether. Now, this is the perfect example of that. Now, I have no idea what this dude talked about on his platform. I'm guessing, again, it was on TikTok. Like I said, I went on YouTube and typed his name in. I said Frankie Blanco FBA, and nothing came up. So I'm assuming that this live that he did was on TikTok. I don't know what he said because I don't have a TikTok. But like I said, based on what I heard, his message probably didn't go as far as he did. I'm curious to know what they probably said in the comment section. They probably was up there just clowning them as they should have. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish with that. We know what, I take that back. I know what he was trying to create a riff. But the thing about it is, in order for you to create a riff, it actually has to have some kind of success attached to it. Like, this wasn't even a good attempt. This was a failed attempt from the time he said his first word. From the time he pressed record to make this TikTok video, he already failed. And then put that up there as the caption. Like, I don't know. Like, this is why I say everybody does not need to be a content creator. Not everybody needs to be on social media, because if everybody acted in the same vein as this dude right here, we would be in some deep shit.